Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Punishing Gray Raven reaction. Today we have Puppet, I guess is what the name translates to, and Ferox had put this into the comments, and it barely won out as the most votes, but I'm going to be listening to this one. There's also a song by Anti-General that he put into the same comment, but I went with this one just because I haven't heard Haloweak in a minute, and I kind of miss Haloweak's sound, but if you guys want me to listen to the one that he put in there that I didn't get to, of course, let me know in the comments below this video, and of course, without further ado, let's go! Ooh. Starting with Impact. Impact and Atmosphere. Ooh. We're getting throat singing in here? That's something I haven't heard in a hot minute. That was a sick transition. Layering up that pumping floor. Beautiful synth there. Really cool envelope on the sound to make it kind of do that wave effect. I love these accents too. Blending electronic and organic. One of my favorite things. Bringing that back, are we? Lots of percussive layering on this too. Even the like pluck synths are kind of adding to the percussion. Haloweak's Atmosphere, dude. This is why I come back. I love those synth drops. And a beautiful voice. The whole package. Are those just straight up claves in there? If so, that's awesome. It's not a sound I hear a lot anymore. It's pretty rare that they throw those in. I miss Haloweak. As is the case with pretty much all of Haloweak's music I've heard, the scale is absolutely breathtaking on this song. I love the amount of scale that they're able to fit into just a few minutes. Like, every single passage of the song feels like an evolution of the prior one, which is pretty normal for music, but it's the fact that each individual section feels like the world didn't just expand by a couple of feet in front of me, or like maybe even a mile. I feel like there's an entire other celestial body introduced into the universe every single time I'm listening to a new section of of a Haloweak song. I love the ability that Haloweak has to just extrapolate the universe in that way and just continue that growth to an infinite end. Like, there's no way I feel like this song could end that I feel would truly feel like I'm satisfied listening to Haloweak. I want to listen to more of Haloweak's music every single time I hear it, because every single time I'm like, there's more to this story, and I must figure out what that is. As for the song being called Puppet and how that fits in, I'm sure it has to do with the characters that are on screen in this video, but I don't know these characters, so I don't know what that relation is, and the song really didn't give me any of that feeling. A lot of it was just kind of general grand tone and sound. It didn't feel like it was pulling any heartstrings for me to feel like the character is a puppet, like if that name was a direct reference to something of that sort. And it might just be more like the "we are all puppets" feeling in a scenario. I'm really unsure about that one. The vocals at the end, that like beautiful strung out tonality, makes me feel like I'm looking up at the stars from a different planet, and it's just, I can't feel like this song maybe is talking in that larger scale, like looking out at the stars, out at the universe, and realizing that you are a puppet compared to the vast, endless expanse in front of you. Like, there's just something that makes you feel so small in a situation. That's more of the scale that I'm getting here, especially because the song feels so large to begin with and ends even larger than it began. And it was already kind of pushing towards that from the start. At the start, while you definitely had a little bit more trepidation in there, it felt like it expanded to more confidence by the end. So maybe that's the evolution of this song, and maybe that's the story they're trying to tell. Somebody kind of breaking out of their quote-unquote strings, you know? Like, it could be anything of that sort. I usually just have to throw something at the wall and see if I'm correct, and see if people correct me on it in the comments for that, but that's what I'm getting out of this one. That's the best I really can do for, like, a message here. But Haloweak's compositional skills just baffle me every single time. Even in this one, where it was stuff like throwing in those traditional instruments, I heard I think the eru and the guzheng in there, which is beautiful choices for those instruments. Some might get those confused with the Japanese variants of those, but that's pretty commonplace. Even I got confused with those at the start. If you're more familiar with one, then you think that it's that way, but tonally they're about the same thing, and even in construction they're pretty much the same thing. They're just borrowed from China, brought to Japan. That's how music works, right? So you just adapt things and move them to different locations. That's nothing new here, and I love both of those instruments. I love their variations. It's just such a cool sound to have. Those specific instruments have such a great organic quality to them, as well as the flute that we heard in here too. Definitely a wooden bamboo flute. I'm not going to try guessing which one that is, because God knows there are like 30 of them and they all sound pretty similar just depending on the size of the wood that you use, so I'm not going to attempt. But beautiful either way. It has a great open tone, lots of air being forced through the chamber, so it just has this quality to it that feels so light and free. Even though this song is kind of running on that razor's edge of, do I feel open and free, or do I feel kind of claustrophobic in this space? Because there's a lot happening here. There's a lot of percussion going on there, kind of cluttering up the sound. It's making you feel a little oppressed, but at the same time, these high-flying concepts in the music, these tones that are usually synonymous with things like gigantic grand adventures that make you feel like you're going to be expanding your own horizons beyond what you know, and yet you still feel like there's so much that is holding you back. And again, maybe that's what the song's getting at there. I could totally see that working with the theme of a puppet, as I mentioned earlier. So all of this is gorgeous. I adore Haloweak's compositional skill. Almost every single time I find myself taken aback by like the Herculean feat that it is to make a song that is so grand yet also so constricting, and make that feel welcoming yet also it makes me nervous. And finding those balances is something I've never personally been able to do in music. So it just humbles me being able to listen to these sorts of things and hear other people manage that. And I just have to look upon it with respect and maybe realize that maybe I can't do that. Maybe I can, but there's just something about it that makes me go, man, maybe I should just give up sometimes. But at the same time, it also gives me like a wealth of inspiration. Like I want to hear more of stuff like this, so maybe I can do it myself. And it leads me down this weird rabbit hole mentally. But I'm also not even a composer, so like, why am I thinking like that? That's the type of impact this sort of music has on me. That just, it's so profound that it makes me want to do things that aren't even my goals, you know? Like maybe I'll compose something someday, but it's not really a thing I'm aiming towards. So like, why does this hit me like that? I'm kind of going on a tangent there, but maybe some of you can relate to that. But either way, beautiful track, as always, from Haloweak. I haven't heard a bad song from PGR yet, and I don't expect to. So keep them coming, and let me know if I should get to that one from Anti-General as well, or if you have something else you want to request from PGR, by all means, leave in the comments below, and I will do my best to get to it as always. And of course, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for other stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!